All right, let's talk trading. If you've been at this for any length of time, you've probably blamed the market, right? Or maybe your strategy for those tough losses. But what if I told you the biggest thing holding you back, the single greatest obstacle to your success, isn't out there on the charts at all? What if it's right here, inside your own head?
And look, let's be real. The market can chew you up and spit you out. It is a powerful, sometimes really hostile place. So, the real key to survival, it's not just about hunting for winning trades. It's actually about learning to see and just step away from the situations where you're at your weakest. So, okay, what are those circumstances? Well, the answer to that question, that's what leads us to the real battlefield. See, the journey to becoming a master trader isn't about fighting the market. It's about conquering an enemy that knows every single one of your weaknesses because, well, it lives inside your own head. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we're going to pinpoint the real trading enemy. Then we'll dive into overcoming impatience, curing impulsiveness, and conquering fear and greed. After that, we'll talk about the power of stillness and lay out your path to mastery. Let's get right into it. Okay, first up, who is this enemy we're talking about? It's that undisciplined, reactive, kind of retail mindset that most people bring to the charts. Believe me, the biggest, toughest battle you'll ever fight as a trader, it's the one that happens right between your ears. And this right here, this is the fundamental split. It's like two different worlds. On one side, you've got the retail mindset. You know the one, hanging out with the mob, listening to all the social media chatter, chasing whatever's already making a big move. But then, on the other side, you have the professional. Professionals learn to walk alone. They're in tune with their own tested model. They're not looking for someone to hold their hand. They're busy building their own experience, one trade at a time. Why? So they can anticipate the next move, not just react to the last one. Making that shift, man, that's everything. All right, let's tackle the first big demon, impatience. I bet you know this one is probably the single biggest hurdle for any developing trader. It's that overwhelming urge, that feeling that if you don't do something right now, you're going to miss the big one. But here's the thing, and this is so important. Impatience isn't just a random feeling. It's a symptom. It's a sign of something much, much deeper, a lack of experience. And I'm not just talking about market experience. I mean experience with yourself. It's about not knowing what makes you tick, not knowing your own triggers, and not understanding the specific ways you personally are most likely to sabotage your own success. So what's the antidote? Well, think about a young deer, like a fawn in the forest. When it senses danger, what does it do? It doesn't just run around blindly. It freezes. It becomes perfectly still. Why? Because it doesn't have the experience to know what else to do, and stillness is its best shot at survival. You, as a trader, you need to learn that same instinct. The sidelines, that's your safe space. The market literally cannot bite you if you're not in a trade. Being still isn't weakness. It's a skill, a crucial one.
Okay, so hot on the heels of impatience comes its nasty cousin, impulsiveness. These two go hand in hand. This is that thing that makes you jump into trades without thinking, just reacting. And it almost always leads to costly mistakes and a whole lot of regret.
At its core, impulsiveness really just comes from a lack of knowledge, specifically knowledge of how price is actually delivered. When you don't get the underlying mechanics, the why a move is happening, all you're left with is chasing the what. You see a giant green candle and boom, you buy. You're driven by FOMO, not by any real understanding of what the market is actually trying to tell you. So how do you fix this? 3 steps. Step 1. You have to really dedicate yourself to studying price delivery. Understand that natural ebb and flow as the market goes from consolidation to expansion. Step 2. Forget the indicators for a bit. Focus on price itself, not on these lagging things that are just telling you what already happened. And step 3. Walk alone. You've got to disconnect from that constant social media chatter that's just designed to make you react impulsively.
All right, now for the big ones. The 2 most famous demons in all of trading, fear and greed. But we're going to look at them a little differently today. Let's redefine them. Because they aren't just these vague, abstract emotions. No, they are the direct results of very specific gaps in your trading process. Think about it this way.
Why do you actually feel fear? It's because you lack hard, cold proof that your model actually works. You're scared of losing money because you haven't put in the hours to build a library of evidence, case studies that prove your edge is real and that it's repeatable. Fear loves a vacuum. It thrives in the absence of data. And that, right there, is why your journal is your ultimate secret weapon. It's not just a diary. By meticulously documenting your setups, by backtesting, what you're really doing is building pseudo-experience. You are training your brain through sheer repetition to see your patterns in a split second. This process literally starves fear of its oxygen. You replace that gut-wrenching uncertainty with a library of your own proven results. Your journal becomes the single greatest trading book you will ever own because you wrote it. It becomes this encouraging voice for your future self. And greed? What about greed? It's not what you think. It's not really about just wanting to be rich. It's about a fundamental lack of trust. You overtrade, you chase that one monster winner, because deep down, you don't actually trust that your model is going to give you another good opportunity tomorrow or the next day. You start treating every setup like it's a lottery ticket, your one and only chance, instead of trusting in a professional, repeatable process. So let's say you do the work. You conquer impatience, you cure impulsiveness, you get a handle on fear and greed. What's the payoff? What do you actually gain? You unlock what might be the single most powerful skill in all of trading, the power of stillness. I want you to think about your trading journey like you're climbing Mount Everest. Nobody, and I mean nobody, just sprints straight to the summit. That's a recipe for absolute disaster. What do? They climb for a bit, and then they level out. They build a base camp, a plateau where they can rest and acclimate to the new altitude. Greed is trying to get to the top in one shot. Professionalism, that's building those sustainable plateaus of profit, knowing that it's the steady, methodical progress that actually gets you to the top. And that brings us to a massive point. The highest form of skill in this game isn't about finding more trades. It's about developing the wisdom, the confidence, and the patience to know when not to trade, knowing when to just sit on your hands, avoiding the garbage setups. That's so much more important for your long-term survival than trying to force a trade every single day. And you know what? When you get to this place, something almost magical happens. It feels like the weight of the market just lifts off your shoulders. All that experience you've built, every hour of journaling, every minute of screen time, it starts to carry you. It's like a feather, lifting you up, carrying you above all the noise and struggle where everyone else is stuck. You start to navigate even the toughest markets with a kind of calm that can only come from real self-mastery. Okay, let's bring this all home. Your path to trading mastery. It's not some external quest to find a holy grail indicator. It's an internal journey. It's about conquering the enemy within. So really, it all boils down to these 4 pillars of self-mastery. Every time you feel one of these things, don't just see it as a bad emotion. See it for what it is, a signal. Impatience is a signal that you lack experience with yourself. Impulsiveness is a signal you lack knowledge of price. Fear, that's a signal that you lack journaled proof. And greed is a signal that you lack trust in your own model. Each one of these flaws is actually a roadmap, pointing you exactly to the work you need to do. And that leaves us with one last really crucial question, a question you need to ask yourself every single day you sit down at your desk. Every click you make, every trade you take, it's doing one of 2 things. Is it a deliberate, conscious step toward building a solid, tested trading model? Or are you just building bad habits? Are you just reinforcing the same internal enemies over and over again? The choice and the work that comes with it, well, that's all yours.